Hey, what's going on YouTube? So, this last Sunday I ran the LA Marathon, which was kind of the whole point of this little series that I had going on, along with balancing training for that, as well as continuing on with my regular lifting routine. So, I just wanted to give a brief summary of how it went. And as I kind of mentioned in my previous videos, I did hurt my knee like 2 to 3 weeks before the marathon. So there was one week where I completely took off from running. I still went to the gym to lift weights, but I did not run at all. And the week before the marathon, last week, I was able to get in a few 2 mile jogs in. So, leading up to the marathon, it wasn't the best training that I could have done in terms of running. But overall, it went well. I mean, at the very beginning of uh, the series and signing up for the marathon, my goal was only to finish the marathon and to be able to maintain my body weight and maintain my strength in the gym. And I'll post a clip of my body weight the day before the marathon, or the night before the marathon is when I actually weighed myself. And I believe I also weighed myself the night of the marathon race, and I was about 148 pounds. So I pretty much maintained my body weight of I think I started around 150 pounds, but yeah, 2 pounds isn't really a big difference. Like, I'll probably gain that this week, honestly. So I was able to do that. Now, as far as how the actual marathon went, despite having a few weeks where my running wasn't the best, I was able to finish, which of course is good. Um, I was able to do so injury free, which is also really good. Even though I was having knee pain before, it did clear up the week before, so right on time. And during the actual race or the marathon, I had zero knee pain. And even now, after, I don't have any uh, knee pain or any other sort of unusual pain. Of course, I'm a little sore, but that's to be expected. My legs and surprisingly, my traps were hurting Sunday and yesterday, Monday, as well as my neck for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe for moving your arms. I really don't know, but overall, I feel good after running it. As far as the time it took me just over 5 hours. My pace was an 11-minute, 30-minute mile pace, so definitely pretty high. Before I got hurt, I wanted to run about a 4-hour marathon based on my half marathon results, but it is what it is. It didn't happen, and that's okay because, again, my original goal was just to finish and maintain my strength and weight, which I believe I have. My gym training's been going well, so and throughout this whole series, I've only tested one lift, which was my overhead press, and I did get a 5-pound PR on that. I haven't really tested everything else, but I've been able to maintain my squat and bench strength to pretty much where I started, so that's great. I know I haven't uh, shown a lot of footage but regarding that, but that's mainly because my training hasn't been exactly exciting. I haven't gone for any huge PRs. I might do that coming up. So this week I'm taking off for sure, like both running and gym training, just to recover a bit. Like I said, I feel okay after running the marathon, but the night of the marathon I felt like I had a fever coming, and even right now I still feel like I might be close to getting sick. I mean, my ears right now are really red. Not that that has to do with anything getting sick, but yeah, I feel like I might be close to getting sick. I don't know if like the marathon weakened my immune system or anything, but since the marathon is something that does take a toll on the body, and I am feeling a little under the weather, I just decided to take the week off and continue next week. So next week I'll ease into things, and the week after, or maybe even a little later, 2 weeks after, I might go for a few PR attempts to kind of see where my strength is. And that will pretty much conclude this little series I had. Um, will I keep making YouTube videos after those PR attempts? I'm not sure. And I'm not exactly sure if I will be posting the PR attempts or not. I might make a quick summary video saying, hey, this is what I tried, and I either got it or I didn't get it. But yeah, so I guess let me talk a little bit about my plans for YouTube. So of course, throughout this whole series, I tried not to look at the views or anything like that. That's like common advice for content creators or people who are trying to do YouTube. And people always say, just do this for a set period of time and don't pay attention to how many people are watching. But of course, I watched, and I know that not a lot of people watch these videos. So it's almost as if I'm like talking to myself with these videos. But that's fine because like I said, at the beginning of starting this little series, I wanted to do this kind of also for myself to document my progress. And if anyone happened to find these videos either relatable, entertaining, they can take something from this, then all the better. But um, as far as right now, I don't know if I will be continuing to make videos. At least not another series. Of course, like if something interesting happens, like I have like for example a video of like me dunking or something. So if I do something cool like that I just want to share and I'm excited about, then yeah, of course I'll share. But as far as making a series like this lifting and marathon training series that I did, I don't know if I'll continue to do that, so that's that. But before I end the video, I kind of want to go into a little more detail about the marathon, because I know I just kind of gave a brief overview of like how that went and my finishing time and all that. But to go in a little more detail, so I want to say that the marathon was definitely a very humbling experience. Not only because I finished an hour more than what my goal time was not too long ago, but this was the first race where I actually had to walk, and that's kind of why my overall time was at 5 hours. And I had to walk around mile 18. I had some cramping on my quads, and then later on my left hamstring, my left calf, which is normal, especially because before this race or this marathon, the longest run that I had was the half marathon. I wanted to get a 18-mile run or a 20-mile run in before the marathon, but because I hurt my knee, I wasn't able to do that. And of course, I paid the price for that. And I mean, they say you should be, for your weekly mileage, be hitting more than what you plan to do. So like if a 26-mile run or marathon, you should be hitting at least 30 to 40 miles per week, and I was not doing that. At my peak, I was running 3 days a week, so that's not enough to be able to perform well in the marathon. And I knew that, but I mean, it is what it is. And I actually had to walk during the marathon. I didn't have to, but on mile 10 was the first time I actually walked. So mile 18 was where I started to walk, mainly because I had my legs cramping up, and I it was kind of painful to keep jogging, and I kind of wanted to walk to have that go away for a bit. But I actually walked mile 10, and the reason for that was uh I, I guess counting up the miles, I saw like, wow, I still have 3 miles to go, and then and then I'll only be done with a half marathon, and I'll have to redo that again. So the marathon was not just a physically demanding race, but also a mentally demanding race. And I'll admit it, I it got to me mile 10, and I took a breather by walking for a bit. And yeah, that, I mean, what can I say? Like, physically, I should have been able to keep going, but mentally, I did have a mental lapse in mile 10, and that's fine. It was a good challenge for me, and um, I am happy that, starting mile 18, I every mile or so I walked, I would see like, okay, from say that tree to that flagpole, I'm gonna walk, and then I'm gonna try jogging again. And I kept doing that for like the last 8 miles or so, if I remember correctly. But I am happy that at least the last mile, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to cross the finish line walking. I want to keep jogging no matter what. So I am glad that at least at the last mile I was able to do that. And overall, it was a good mental training exercise. I saw moments where I had, I guess, moments of mental weakness and moments where I pushed through. So, yeah, this was overall a great experience, and I'm glad I was able to do the marathon. I'm glad I signed up for it. And yeah, it's also such a great experience because, like, everyone who's running the marathon is going through the same thing. So there were people like motivating each other. Like, I had an SR lay students run a lay person walk up to me, and so many other people saying, hey, come on, you can do this, like around mile 20, 22 or something. It's like, hey, don't walk, we didn't come here to walk, and things like that. It's like, follow my pace, all this to like help motivate you. And I'm sure there were plenty of other people doing that. One of my closest friends, Guillermo, who actually also did the marathon, he he was going through some real tough times. Like, okay, he actually got out of the hospital. I don't want to say too much for his privacy, of course, but he got out of the hospital on Saturday before the marathon, and he still decided to go through with running the marathon, which is just crazy to think about. And around mile 18, when I was getting those cramps and I had to start walking, he just happened to message me at that exact same time saying, hey, if I can do this, you can too. And like, that was just great timing that he sent that. And it's just crazy that, like, that he was able to finish as well. Like, after being hospitalized for a few days, wow, like, props to him. And that's what I was trying to say about like this whole community. I think running a marathon brings out the best in people, and everyone's just trying to support each other because they know that it's hard, they're going through it themselves, and it's just a great experience. So I'm very happy that I did it, and I'm not ashamed of the mental lapses I had or anything, because it's I mean, it's like, people will say this isn't a race, it's a marathon, and now I can kind of see where that happens, because even if there are times where you do face adversity or you do have roadblocks, if you keep going, you will be able to finish. And that's something I was thinking about this whole time. I'm like, okay, even though I'm walking, I'm gonna keep pushing, like keep pecking at this, like cut down, like, okay, 6 miles, 5 miles, like just little by little. I know it's taking a while, but I'm just gonna keep going. And that's just, a great analogy for life in general. Life will get hard, and you'll have times where things will be easier, and when things are gonna get harder, and you're gonna feel you're not going at the pace you should be. But if you just keep going, eventually, good things will happen. And, crossing that finish line is great, but that whole process of doing it is where you will get the most out of it. I feel like people say all the time, it's not the destination, but it's the journey. And you get to learn a lot about yourself through the journey. And I know I'm kind of rambling on now. I know the video's getting kind of long. But yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to say about the marathon and this whole experience. Overall, it's been a great experience, and I'm glad I did it. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'll continue making videos, but I at least wanted to summarize my marathon experience, and, hopefully, um, yeah, hopefully someone could relate or get something out of it. And I'm overall glad I did this, and we'll see what I do next. Will I keep running? I'm not sure. I might look into other things like boxing, or I don't know. I know I'm definitely gonna keep lifting, because that's something that right now I'm really passionate about. And because I did not reach the goal of hitting a 4-hour marathon, that might be something in the future. But as of right now, I don't want to give a definite yes or no, like, oh, I'm gonna quit running, or yes, I will be doing another race. So future is open, but that's a good thing, because I guess not knowing what the future has in store is part of the fun. So with that note, I want to conclude the video. Thank you if you did go ahead and watch this video. And yeah, that's it for me.